friends, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to share this flow with you guys. I love opening up the hips. I feel like it's so important for mobility and flexibility. So whether you're working on one or the other, or you just want to open up where you feel stiff, this is a great flow for you. All right, we're gonna start in child's pose. So just take your time, bring your toes together at the back of the mat, knees slightly wide, heels. Just kind of make room for yourself here. Walk your hands forward and lower to your forehead, chest, or chin. Take several deep breaths here, just allowing your body to fully sink into child's pose. This is a great way to just begin to open through the hip area. Also a nice stretch in the low back. Let yourself begin to melt and deepen your inhales and elongate your exhales. On your next inhale, roll up through the spine and just ease your way up into tabletop pose. Knees below hips, wrists below shoulders. Let's take a few cat-cows here. So inhaling, drop the belly, lift tailbone and chest. Exhale, round through the spine, drop the tailbone, drop the head. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cats. Two more at your own pace, following your breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. And as you're ready, tuck your toes, maybe walk your hands forward slightly and make your way into down dog. Feel free to pedal out through the knees here. And then as you're ready, we're going to start with the right leg. So go ahead and lift your right leg high, three-legged dog, then open up through the hips here, bend the knee. And I like to circle through my knee here. So nice big circles, really getting into the hip. I'm going to do 3. Do as many as you would like. And then close off the hip, extend your leg, bring your right foot forward, and then bring your right hand to the inside. So we're gonna drop the back knee and really lean into our left hip flexor here. Just allowing the hips to sink. Maybe come down to your forearms. We're not gonna be here too long right here, just kind of getting into the hips before we flow. And then take your right hand to the outside of your right leg. Shift back, hips are above your knee. They're nice and square. Flex through the front toes, begin to hinge forward, chest towards your shin or thigh. And then take it forward, take it back. One more stretch here. Bend into your front knee, tuck your back toes. Step your back foot forward, and let's come into Malasana. So toes come slightly wide, and drop your hips here wherever they will go. And then begin to elongate through the spine. Elbows can press into those knees. And then drop the hands. Lift up into a fold. Toes come back to parallel. Inhale, rise, mountain. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step your feet back to a plank. And take a chaturanga here. Or you can take a baby cobra if you would prefer that. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. And downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Open the hips. Bend your knee. And I'm going to take those 3 big and slow hip circles here. Close off the hips, extend your left leg, three-legged dog, and bring it forward. We're going to go into our lizard lunge again, left hand to the inside. Drop your right knee down. And just begin to let your hips sink here. You'll notice it in your right hip flexor this time. Maybe come down to your forearms. And then bring your left hand to the outside of your left foot. Shift back into a front half split stretch. Inhale. And then exhale to hinge forward. Again, trying to keep your hips level and even. Chest goes towards the leg instead of like craning or reaching with your head. Just kind of take your chest down. And then shift forward and back. One more stretch here. And then as you're ready, bend into your front knee, tuck your back toes. Let's make our way up to Malasana. So feet are kind of pointed out. Drop the hips, elongate through the spine. Drop the hands, lift up into a fold. Inhale to rise. And exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back to plank, and make your way to down dog. Inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. Take a wild thing if you would like. So I like to come through a plank. So you're kind of going into this plank position, side plank. Drop the right toes and lift your hips up, almost like you're going into wheel. Come back, three-legged dog. And step your right foot forward. Lizard lunge, right hand to the inside, drop your back knee. And then from here, you can do this from your hands or from your forearms. We're going to take the right hand back and reach for the left foot. Find a little quad stretch here, so gently tugging. Notice my hips want to lift. Try to keep your hips low. Find that quad stretch here. Hang out as long as you would like here. Pause the video if you need to. And then drop your foot down. Bring your right hand back. Take your front half split stretch. Shift forward and let's step forward to Malasana. Feel free to add a little bind here if you would like. Or you can even just add a twist. Totally up to you. And then from here, plant your hands. We're going to go into a standing split. For standing splits, I would like you to plant your left foot and lift your right leg, either at hip height or above hip height. Whatever it is, find the stretch in your left hamstring. We really don't care much about the right leg, just so the left hamstring is getting a stretch. And then step your right foot back to warrior two, so heels are aligned. Cartwheel those arms up. Warrior two. Nice bend in the front knee. Sometimes I like to align my hips, so I'll straighten the front leg, make sure my hips are level, and then lower back in. Exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. So either a half bind around your hips or let your back hand rest on your back thigh. Lift your top arm. And then inhale, warrior two. And come through warrior two to an extended side angle. Plant your left hand, reach your right arm up and over, bicep by the ear. Exhale. Inhale, straighten the front leg gently. Flex your quad, reach your right arm high, and then extend through the chest here. Feel free to look up or down. You can also place your bottom hand on your shin or on your thigh, whatever you need, or on a block. And then lower your right hand down as you bend into your left knee. Come back to a low lunge. Let's take a twist here. Left arm high. And then lower the left hand. Step your back foot forward to fold. Inhale, rise. And exhale, fold. Make your way to plank and then back to down dog. Left leg high this time, nice big inhale. Bend the knee and let's take our wild thing here. And gently come back to three-legged dog. Exhale, step it forward. Lizard lunge. Drop your back knee. Hands to the inside. Exhale. Now come down to your forearms, and we're going to take or stay on your hands, just whatever gives you the best stretch. Take your left hand back to your right toes. And find your quad stretch here. Gently tugging the heel towards the glutes. Again, notice my hips like to rise. Try to keep your hips low. That's where that stretch really lives. And feel free to hang out here for as long as you need to feel a release. Gently drop the back foot when you're ready. Tuck your toes, shift your weight back into a half split stretch. And then inhale, come forward. Let's step up to Malasana. Again, you can take your twist or a bind here, just a single breath on each side, if that feels good. And then drop the hands and let's plant the right foot and lift the left leg into standing split. Again, going for right angle with the hip or higher. Getting a stretch in your right leg. Then step it back to warrior two. Feel free to adjust your hips as you need to. Big breath in and exhale. Next breath, let's take a reverse warrior. Inhale, come back through warrior two and down into extended side angle. Left arm up and over, bicep by the ear. You can look up or down. Gently straighten the front leg, triangle pose. You have options here for your bottom hand, hand to the shin, to a block, whatever makes it accessible for you. Gently bend into the front leg. Take your left hand down. And then we're going to step it forward to fold. Exhale here. Inhale, rise. Extended mountain. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step it back to plank, and make your way to down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. And step it forward, warrior two. Cartwheel the arms up. And from here, we're going to go into a half moon. So gently shift your weight forward, plant your right fingertips, open up through the hips, flex through the back foot, left hand lifts. If you need to, you can put a block under your right hand or find some balance here. Then as you're ready, take a gentle transition, nice and slow. We're going to do left leg over the right, left arm under for eagle pose. Sit into your hips slightly, squeeze your thighs, pull forward with your arms gently, find a nice stretch. As you're ready, unwind your legs and let's go into an eagle arm warrior three. So extending your left heel back behind you, reach through the heel. And then as you're ready, drop your left toes. Let's come into a high crescent lunge. And as you're ready, spin your back heel down. Clasp your hands behind your hips. Pull down, lift through the chest. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale to lift up, just enough here. Release your hands, plant your hands around your front foot, come to your back toes, step back to plank, and make your way to down dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Step it forward to warrior two. Cartwheel those arms out. And settle for a moment. Then as you're ready, inhale, begin to lean forward, lift your back foot, and come into a half moon. So opening the hips, flexing through the back foot, lift your right hand high, use a block if you need to, or perhaps find a balance. And then gently, slowly transition to eagle, right leg over, right arm under. Sink into your hips. And elbows are at shoulder height. Pull gently forward, find a stretch between your shoulder blades. And then as you're ready, unwind your legs. Warrior three balance. Or warrior three with eagle arms. Find a breath. Exhale, drop your right toes down. Unwind your arms, high crescent lunge. Exhale, drop your back heel. Take your hands behind your back. I like to do the opposite clasp. So normally my right thumb is over. This time my left thumb will be over. Pull down with the fist, lift up through the chest. Exhale, and fold forward with your torso. Humble warrior. Fists lift off of the hips wherever they can go. And then inhale, lift up through the chest. Unclasp the hands. Plant the hands, step back to a high plank. And take your vinyasa back to down dog. Now from here, lift your right leg high. And bring it forward for half pigeon pose. So if you have a block and you would like to use it here, just place it under your sitting hip. It gives you space to focus on squaring the hips forward. Big breath in and out. Basically, if your foot wants to move in to give you squared hips, move that foot in, because it's not possible for all bodies to anatomically have a perfect right angle in your shin. So meet your body where it is and don't force it. Now you can stay seated or you can walk your pigeon forward and sleep it. Or rest on two fists, two hands, whatever works for you. All right, from here, let's take another really deep quad stretch. So we're going to gently bend the back leg, very gently here. Use your left hand to pull your left heel in towards your glutes. Trying to keep your knee in line with your hips here as best as you can. Don't stress over it, just find a stretch in your quad. And if you want to play with mermaid, just pop your toes into your elbow and reach around. All right, now we're going to release that leg and bring the left leg forward for double pigeon. So feel free to pause this video anytime to hang out in these stretches for a long time, because it will really release through the hips. All right, so shins are directly in a straight line in front of us. You can think about lining them up parallel to the top of your mat, and then flex through the toes, begin to hinge forward at your hips. Feel free to use your hands as support. Just kind of go where you can go. And then to comfortably position yourself, feeling the stretch in your hip, and begin to exhale to release there. You can also sleep your double pigeon if you would like. And honestly, I would suggest, you guys, if you follow me, you know, I would suggest hanging out in these intense hip stretches for a while. But for today, for this class, we're gonna go ahead and move on. So let's go ahead and lift the left foot. We're gonna line up the knees, pull the right heel over. We want the heels to be basically slightly, maybe like 6 inches above being in line with the hip, if that makes sense. And then go ahead and fold here. Inhale to lift up. Let's go ahead and take that left leg behind us. Tuck the toes, lift it back up, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high, bring it forward, half pigeon. Let's do those on this side. Again, squaring your hips, feel free to have a block under your left hip on this side if you need that support. I love using a block in this pose, and I meant to bring one for this class. Find the position that works for you. And then when you're ready, let's go for our quad stretch here. Woo! So gently pulling the heel in, trying to stay square in the hips, but not stressing too much. We're going for the quad here. And then releasing, let's bring it around, double pigeon. All right, so we want the shins to be parallel to the mat. So we don't want our legs to be like this, because that'll take you out of the stretch. So you want them to be like heel in line with the knee as best as you can. Feel free to move your foot down, maybe even come into a butterfly pose if you cannot get into double pigeon. Then flex your toes, lift up high, walk your hands forward if you would like. Begin to elongate the exhales again. So every new stretch, try to get in touch with your breath again to tell your body you're safe, you can relax, and it'll just help your muscles release and relax so there's not building tension there. And then when you feel good about that pose, let's move into cow face. So stacking the knees and then aligning the heels, ideally aligning the heels with each other, slightly above that line of the hip, lift up tall, and walk your hands forward. Again, feel free to pause the video and hang out here for a few minutes. It's very beneficial. As you're ready, we're going to release the legs and stretch them forward. I'm just going to wiggle my mat up slightly. And shift forward in your pelvis slightly and then lift up. Flex your toes. Find a little relaxation in your knees, so a tiny bend. Walk your hands forward, chest to your knees, thighs, shins, and relax. Take a few breaths, letting your torso melt as much as possible over your legs. You can relax your toes, relax through the knees, relax the quads as best as you can. Just to tell your body, like, it's okay, you know, we're stretching. No need to tighten while we're trying to stretch. And then as you're ready, lift up. And we're gonna go into happy baby and then shavasana so you can relax after this practice. So roll down to your back. Lift up through the legs, bend to the knees. You can hold wherever you'd like, side of the foot, inside of the foot, heels, toes, whatever you like. And press your low back into the mat, maybe sway side to side gently. You can also straighten and bend through the legs, just whatever you like here. I also like to take a butterfly type of pose in this position, just bringing the soles of the feet together, pressing the knees forward. And then once you are done there, take the soles of your feet together and let's do a supine butterfly or supine Baddha Konasana. Take a nice exhale. And then take your right hand to your belly, your left hand to your heart. Take a big breath in, feel your belly rise. Then your chest rise, and then exhale, feel your chest lower, and then your belly lower. Let yourself settle. If you would like to move into a more traditional shavasana where you are laying with your legs and arms outstretched, then please feel free. And I will leave you here. Enjoy your rest. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I will see you next time.